in our tuk-tuk and we're bouncing along to the central bus station of Trincomalee. We're going to find one of the two buses that goes to Dambulla, either the Candy bus or the Colombo bus, and hop on whichever one's got route.
The bus is pretty much empty, so should be a good trip. We just arrived in Dambulla. It was about 2.5 hours by bus from Trincomalee and only 170 rupees, so an absolute bargain. The bus driver thought he was in the Formula One, so that was a bit scary at times, but luckily we got here safely. Next challenge for us is to find our guest house.
Oh, we're struggling a bit. It's pretty hot and all the addresses to our guest house are wrong, and so is the phone number. So
this is where the guest house is meant to be. Have a look over there.
That's the address behind me. So we're going to walk back the way we came. Someone suggested there was a sign that we may have missed. We don't think so. All those fails will get a tuk-tuk and they can drive around and find it. Found it!
So it turns out it's changed names and the location in both booking.com and Google Maps was wrong.
Yeah, I think it's changed owners too, and they didn't have our booking. So the room was pretty terrible. They tried to give it to us anyway. We're giving them the benefit of the doubt. We've asked them to tidy it up and we're stepping out.
After a bit of a walk around town yesterday, we went back to our hotel and found fresh sheets and it much cleaner, so we were much happier.
Yeah, today we are heading into Dambulla. We're going to grab some breakfast and then we understand the bus leaves every 30 minutes for Sigiriya.
Sigiriya is the #1 tourist attraction in the country, so hopefully it lives up to that reputation.
String hoppers at Benthota Bakehouse, Dambulla. Those are the hoppers, and then we have a pole sambal. We think that's a lentil, or sorry, that's the dal, egg curry, and potato curry.
So this is unexpected. We're at the bottom of Sigiriya Rock and there's a new set of very modern toilets. They're really good. Just don't forget to bring your own toilet paper.
We are wandering around the gardens outside Lion Rock.
There's plenty of monkeys, not too many people luckily, but that behind us is the rock we've got to climb. 1,200 steps and it's really, really hot. We're about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way up. You can see the top of the rock just there. And they've been super friendly and put a water drinking station so you can fill all your bottles, which is a great idea.
And this is the start of the climb from the terrace to the top. We have made it to the top of Sigiriya or Lion Rock, 1,200 steps.
Right in the middle of the day in the burning heat, so probably didn't pick the best time of day, but it's well worth the walk.
Yeah, the views up here are amazing. There are really extensive gardens surrounding it. There's a fair amount of information and it's been beautifully preserved, and if you get the right time of day, yes, it's hot, but there's not many people.
No. People come right in the morning or late in the afternoon to get away from the heat, so as much as it was painful to walk up, it's a really good time of day to be here.
So they found the first human, or evidence of human habitation, about 6,000 years ago, so prehistoric.
So up here on the top there's the remains of a palace, gardens, a whole lot of different housing and community complexes. We're going to go and explore it all now. We're sitting on top of Sigiriya Rock. Now, we've learned a bit about it. Sigiriya Rock literally translates to Lion Rock. In 477 AD, King Kasyapa selected this for his new capital. So he built a palace on top of the rock and decorated its sides with colourful frescoes.
Yeah, the frescoes are really cool. It's a slight climb to get to them, and then you have to go back down again, but totally worth it. The capital was actually moved from Anuradhapura, which you would have seen in a previous video. And then it was only here for about 20 years until the king was toppled and the throne was moved back.
After that, it was used until about the 14th century as a Buddhist monastery.
Yeah, the site itself is incredible. The water gardens are huge down the bottom. It's quite a climb to get up, but totally worth it. And the view up here is really stunning. So there's a period in history of 1400 to 1700 where they didn't really know what was happening up here in Sigiriya, and then effectively the site was lost and it wasn't rediscovered until a British army officer found it in the 1830s. So I'm at the very top of Sigiriya and I'm looking south, so you can see some really big hills in that direction. So Kandy, we'll be heading in a couple of days to watch the cricket, is in that general area. It's a bit higher than Dambulla and Sigiriya. The view up here is amazing and there are virtually no people. What an incredible spot. And down we go.
So this is the other rock that people climb. You only have to pay a few hundred rupees to come up and you get an amazing view, but you don't get all of the sort of ancient history and the palaces and everything that you do by climbing Sigiriya. It's worth the money, just pay it up and enjoy it. Sigiriya is fantastic. You can see here the original steps. This is what people used to climb up in the ancient days. Luckily, since then, they've put in a nice, well, relatively stable stairway for us to get up.
Well, we've just spent 4 hours exploring Sigiriya, or Lion Rock, and the surrounding gardens, and it's a very, very cool place.
It's $30 US a person to get in, which is quite steep compared to most things in Sri Lanka, but it's one of those things, the price is the price. Suck it up and come in because it is absolutely fantastic.
There's 2 or 3 ways to get most of the way up, and there's different caves.
And don't forget to have a good look around the grounds, not just climb the rock, because the grounds are full of all sorts of ancient ruins.
Right, we've got the bus here. We're going to try and get the bus back. That is the back of Kel's head, keeping an eye out for the bus.
You've got to be careful because they're super fast, and if you don't jump out in the middle of the road and wave them down, they'll just keep going.
Becoming habit forming. 10 cent ice blocks, you just can't say no after a long day.
We've earned it. We climbed a rock in the middle of the day and we're frying, so we've definitely earned this.
We've just had dinner at a really nice bakehouse restaurant in Dambulla where we've eaten twice now, and as you can see, It's absolutely hosing down. So we're doing like the locals and we're hiding in the foyer until we can go home. Had a great day, gonna wrap it up here. Tomorrow we are probably gonna visit the cave temple and the big wholesale market in Dambulla and chill out a little bit before Kandy the next day. It never stopped raining. We waited there for like half an hour and everyone else was waiting too, and we just made a dash for it, put the camera and the phone in a plastic bag and got soaked. Honestly, amazing lightning all the way back. Our hotel's just giving us some towels to try and dry off. What a way to finish the day. Incredible day at Sigiriya, but yeah, that was a bit wet. We even saw like a land crab in the dark and the frogs are just out of control. So yeah, funny evening. Sort of stuff happens when you're traveling.